Whoa, what a smoke. Hello, everyone. Great to almost see you. I would say it's quite hard. Cool. We missed one video, but it doesn't matter. It's great to be here and see you all. I'm super excited about IGS in general, and I hope you have a great time here and very inspirational talks. My name is Marcin Klimek. I'm CEO at ExplodedView. Whoa. I'm CEO at ExplodedView, where we are building the most advanced camera system for the Metaverse to empower the next generation of content creators. And with that said, we are going to discuss the topic of communication. That is going to be a very important part of our lives in the near future. The communication that is touched by immersive technologies. So we will talk how they are going to change the future, but also how we can implement them right now. In terms of the presentation, I would actually start with a question to all of you guys. How many of you, and just raise your hand, already have at least one avatar? Good. So the follow-up question, how many of you actually used it for the social media? OK, a bit less. Cool. So after that presentation, I hope you will get a better understanding why it's important and how to do it. So maybe after that, let me dive a bit into the setup we're having here. I'm a bit crazy presenter, so you will see a bit different presentation with the live demo actually happening on the stage right now. So let me explain the setup here. What you see on the screen, this one and this one, is my avatar. It was created based on myself using Ready Player Me platform that was mentioned before. It's just a few minutes. You can have one as well. And with this avatar, we are actually putting it live. So what you see right now is the avatar that I'm using is actually mimicking myself and my facial expressions. And we are doing that using the Avatar Cam application, the application that we're building at ExplodedView, that gives you ability to show up in the virtual spaces, like the beautiful city you can see behind me, and turn into the avatar itself. So I can be in real life with you as well as with my colleague avatar. Then, we of course, you can see that the phone is connected to the computer, so we are actually passing that video into the screens. But there is also one secret element that you will see in a second that is going to also help us understand how the communication is going to look like in the future. So what you can see on the screen right now is the AR filter, so augmented reality filter, that was applied to virtual reality environment. So it's a bit of a mix, as you can see. And of course, it's doable, because my avatar is very human-like. So the algorithms that are detecting the face, they're having absolutely no problem with detecting my face and applying the filters on it. So we can do some crazy things with that filters. And it's quite important because it's actually changing a bit the game in terms of communicating and presenting the content. Because right now, of course, we are mainly tied to the slides or some kind of videos that you can see on the screens. And we all know the death by PowerPoint situation, where we're just bored. That's why, as you can see, how I envision the future is that we are actually going to use our avatars together with the environment to actually become a slide. So it's not just a frame that we just prepared before. It's going to be just a live performance with all the content happening around. So the death of PowerPoint is not going to be a thing anymore. So if you actually want to get this setup and a better understanding, just catch me up after the presentation. I'm more than happy to show you how it works in details. But right now, let's actually move to the topic of the communication and the way it's going to be changed in the future. So if we start today, and I think that's very important to get a good understanding of the market that we are in right now and the stage of the Metaverse development that we are in right now, we actually spent a lot of time being in the virtual spaces and actually consuming the digital content. If it's 3D or 2D, doesn't matter. But according to some research, it's like 6-7 hours a day that we are spending in front of some kind of screens. So it's a lot. And that's actually very, very important part of our lives, having this kind of experience of the digital content. But of course, right now it's mostly 2D. With the concept of the metaverse, it's going to evolve into the fully spatial environment where we actually going to use the avatars and like the one that you can see on the screen right now in those environments much more than we are using our profile pictures or some kind of emojis in the actual setup, 2D setup. And it's important because those avatars, they are gateways for us as humans to actually get into those virtual environments. They're gateways to interact with other people that are also in the virtual environment. And they also help us present ourselves in many, many different ways. So you can see that I can become a Minecraft character, for example, because if you think about the future and the avatar systems, my belief is that we are going to use many different avatar systems. Of course, they will have some kind of interoperability and we'll be able to control them. But in general, if you think about it, there may be the one that is for Minecraft, there may be one that is for Roblox, maybe. Or, of course, it may be photorealistic one. That's the best filter I could get. So sorry for that. I know it's not a super efficient, but we'll get there. It's a bit sad, but of course, yeah, photorealistic avatars, of course, are going to be there as well, because different environments are going to require different avatars. Right now, we're also living in a social media world, where we are connecting with each other in the internet. And in the future, of course, it's going to happen. It's happening with the gaming already, and all the games I mentioned right now. That's more for today. It's not about completing the missions anymore. It's about socializing, spending time together in the environments. And with that, the avatars themselves, they are actually going to be the core element that we need to control and we need to use in those different cases. So for business one, probably it will be the photorealistic one. For the Minecraft game, it will be more like blocky one. And of course, there will be a number of others. But of course, avatars themselves, they are also giving us a lot of additional features that I see, like building that project and talking to many influencers, creators out there, and a lot of benefits that they can get out of the avatars and the avatar systems. So first of all, they are very expressive, and they can become much more expressive than we are as humans. So you can cry like this way. I won't be able to cry that on stage, but with avatars, you can do it. So that's one thing, and we can expand our emotions around the persona, what is not possible in the actual world. But also, what we see, and that's very, very interesting to actually notice, is that when you are starting to use avatars, and there was few presentations today about virtual productions, they're also giving you much bigger capabilities, impossible camera movements, beautiful studios, endless spaces. But they are also very easy to be used. So if you think about the video creation process, today you need to have a studio, some kind of green screens, a lot of equipment, a lot of money that needs to be spent on that. But with fully virtual production, let's say, so not the human inside the studio, but the actual setup that you can see on the screen right now, you have a full control of the character, of the space, of the lighting, but also you have everything in your pocket, every time. So you can be in a bus and record a video in your studio to your audience and share some ideas, some thoughts with them immediately. You don't need to wait and travel to these kind of spaces. So we are actually going to have superpowers and some super preps that we can use for those videos. That's additional example that you can see right now. And the possibilities are also going to be democratized. There was a very inspiring talk yesterday about the creator's economy. And what I noticed, in that setup, was that if you think about becoming some kind of influential person, you usually cover some subject. And let's say you are talking about the cars. Right now, to become a car reviewer, you are quite limited. Geographically, you need to have access to those cars to review them, to drive them, to show them to your audience. If you think about the virtual worlds, it's not a limit anymore. So we can actually help a lot of people that cannot afford to get a car like BMW and put it behind you. They cannot geographically get that particular car because it's not sold in that particular region of the world. And the only thing they actually need is a 3D model that the brands and companies, they already have them. So it's absolutely no hassle to actually get access to the content that can help you become like a superstar in your environment. Of course, like that's the future. And I'm using TV here, as you know, because of course we need to get there. And I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that it is very important to understand the timing of the actual metaverse concept. Right now, we are in times where we, of course, can create beautiful worlds, we can create beautiful avatars, but still accessibility to the hardware and to the platforms that needs to be used to actually play with this kind of content are very limited. The truth is that right now, we are still living in a world where the main thing on the market, like in terms of the internet, is social media. That's one thing. Another thing is that the video is actually booming, and most of the contents actually that are consumed right now, that's the video. And that's something that struck me a few years ago, and that's why actually I started working on that project. Because we have so many beautiful virtual worlds, beautiful virtual spaces, beautiful avatars, but we are not capable of showing them. We are all dreaming about the metaverse, but we are not showing it. If you go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you won't see that much content out of those platforms. And that's, for me, it's actually critical to have these kind of capabilities and be able to show that content quickly. You know, the modern social media platforms like TikTok, they are actually like requiring you to record 1, 2, 3 videos a day. It's super complex. If you are using the basic like a setup with Unity or Unreal Engine and this kind of like rendering capabilities, it will take you some time and depth knowledge and so on. So we need to get to the point where we are able to generate that content to show larger audience how those experiences and worlds are beautiful, to engage with them, and to get out of the bubble that we are in right now and bring more people and more users, more players to the market so they can actually experience that properly. So I would like to leave you with the idea that we should actually embrace ourselves right now. We should start talking to the existing world using existing setups if we really want to get to the future that we are all dreaming about, the future of the metaverse. Thank you very much.